There is a moment quiet, empty, and heavy that few talk about. It comes right before everything shifts. It's the moment you feel the most alone, not because no one is around, but because you are standing on the edge of who you were and who you're becoming. This is the loneliest moment of your life, and yet, it's the most important one, because everything real begins right there. Change doesn't begin with noise, it begins with discomfort. A gnawing sense that something isn't right. You start questioning the life you've been living, the job, the relationships, even your own thoughts. This is the prelude to transformation. But here's the truth, most don't tell you. The beginning of a new life often feels like the end of the world. You will feel lost, confused, alone. But that loneliness isn't a punishment, it's a signal. It means you're waking up. Growth demands a kind of death, the death of habits, of identities, of stories you've told yourself to stay safe. And death is always lonely. You're not just losing people, you're losing versions of yourself that were tied to their presence. That's why it hurts. That's why it's quiet. In that silence, your soul is rearranging, and that kind of rebuilding takes sacred space. Many stay in unfulfilling lives because they fear being alone. But is it really belonging if you have to shrink to stay? Is it really love if you have to abandon yourself to receive it? Sometimes, loneliness is truth showing you the lies you've been living. It's a mirror, and it asks you, are you ready to choose yourself now? There's a purpose to isolation. It creates the stillness needed for clarity. It removes the distractions. It invites introspection. When you're finally alone with yourself, you start to hear what you really want, who you really are, and who you no longer wish to be. That emptiness, it's not a void, it's a wound. It hurts because it matters. You're letting go of who you were raised to be so you can become who you were born to be. You're not broken, you're just shedding the skin that no longer fits. And every crack in your heart is an opening for something more true to enter. The pain isn't your enemy, it's your compass. To everyone else, you might look the same, but inside, everything is different. You stop responding to what used to trigger you. You don't chase the validation you used to crave. You set boundaries where you once sought approval. This internal evolution can feel invisible, but it's the most real thing you'll ever experience. And yes, it's lonely, because not everyone is meant to walk with you on this part of the road. After the shedding comes the void, a space of nothingness, where the old is gone, but the new hasn't yet arrived. This is where most people give up. They go back to what was familiar, back to what was safe. But if you can sit in that space, if you can breathe through the darkness, you will begin to see the light, because that's what rebirth looks like. You might be tired, you might be doubting, but you are not done. Every version of you that has survived up to this moment did not do so in vain. You've been building muscle, emotional strength, spiritual awareness, boundaries, and now, you are becoming the version of yourself that doesn't just survive, but thrives. You might feel alone, but you are not. Every soul who has ever faced transformation has stood where you're standing now. In silence, in darkness, in sacred solitude, they made it through, and so will you. Because what's waiting on the other side of this loneliness is the life you were meant to live. So if you're in that space right now, the lonely moment before the shift, hold on, breathe, trust the unraveling. Because what feels like breaking is actually becoming, and what feels like loss is actually alignment. You're not at the end. You're at the beginning,